As famed dungeon master Helen Mirren once said, when you're 16, 30 seems ancient. When you're 30, 45 seems ancient. When you're 45, 60 seems ancient. And when you're 60, nothing seems ancient. Except for that ancient gold dragon that's raging above you. Roll for initiative! Hey, hey, it's Homebrew, the show where we avoid the crushing dullness of everyday life using our two favorite forms of escapism, alcohol and Dungeons and Dragons. If this is your first time watching, you won't notice that there's new stuff happening. But if this isn't your first time watching, you'll see right here, right beside me. It's our buddy, it's knocking on the Brady Bunch beside me here. It's our buddy, old pal, it's Paul. The Paddy's Day episode, where Paul both teched and played, went so incredibly well. So well that I was like, Paul, is that possible? Because I never knew it was. And he was like, yeah, it always has been. I was like, oh, okay, you should play. You should always play with us. Keep playing with us. Which means that I never have to thank Tech again, because he's cast now. He doesn't get the thanks. Welcome, Paul. Hey, Paul. How are things?
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy to join. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, Lucy's still special guest. Like, so she's not even cast billing yet.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it comes up and special guest. Well, actually, maybe you have the best bit and introducing Lucy Newsom, you know?
Yeah.
I think special appearance is by, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that probably is the top billing spot. I don't know how they bill those things, but the last one always good.
It sort of implies, like, yeah, we got her. Like, yeah. Like, don't worry. Whoa. Yeah. I'm on board.
Yeah. That makes sense. Anyway, we're not a movie podcast or live stream. We're a Dungeons and Dragons and Irish mythology live stream and podcast where we take the beers and brews and alcoholic beverages at the table and we weave them into the story we tell in our homebrew Dungeons and Dragons game. We also use a little bit of Irish mythology that we just kind of have floating around in our brains to sort of influence some events as well. It appears sometimes. It's always there. We're from Ireland and we're making mythology. So speaking of drink, what do we have at the table this week? I can start. What am I starting with? I'll start with the drink I'm drinking. It's Sullivan's Brewing Company Black Marble Stout. This is Sullivan's. They're good. They have a pretty interesting history. I don't think they'll mind me telling you that they had some falling out with the Smithwick's family way back when, and they might be the original recipe owners. Am I making it up? Maybe, but you can't sue me for libel because I'm not Sullivan's Brewing Company. I'm just a man on the internet. I'm pretty sure there's some connection with Smithwick's and Sullivan's, and it's a big, bitter rivalry, and it's fucking tasty as shit, so they know what they're doing. Keelan, let's go down and around.
Sure.
What are you drinking?
I am drinking it's called a Captivating Creek. It is a raspberry and cherry flavored Berliner Weiss at a nice 6.4%. It's from the Wander Beyond Brewing Company. It's got a great can with a weird like raspberry armadillo and kind of weird creatures, and that's the old beer there. So that's great. Yeah, I really like it. I have another one. What else? I have some other things. I have a Lervig, because they're always a favorite of mine. Raspberry, a Nitro raspberry sour called Staring into the Sun, or Staring at the Sun. A Hopefully Leg Swap, raspberry lime sour. There's a lot of raspberries. Yeah, it's all raspberries. And what's this? Let's see if this is raspberry. It's a brew dog. It's called Fake Empire Sour Hazy IPA. And let us see. No indication of what's in it. So
you can use it as a palate cleanser for all the raspberry.
Yeah, it could be raspberry. I'll have it second, and we'll see. It's a sour hazy IPA, so that's great. Plus, it gives us the it's got the Empire Strikes Through written on it. So that's always fun. I can use that in the game somehow, as well as Fake Empire.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lucy, what are you sipping on?
I am sipping. I was really last minute, and I went to Spar was my only choice for getting beers, which is not great for unusual ones. But I've got these like Dublin City brewing ones. Have you guys had these? I haven't really tried them, so I just got one of each. What are they like?
if it's a pilsner, it'll be right up
Yeah,
here.
they got like and a lager as well.
Oh yeah. So you can't go wrong with two
So
of them.
it's like a perfect little palette of easy, loosey beers here. So yeah, the lager's good so far. But yeah, I'm curious.
Nice. And finally, Paul. Paul, you don't drink beers often or at all. You don't have to. It's not a requisite.
Wait, he doesn't drink beers. He's out.
Yeah, I have to.
Why can we check this? You know? Or what thing?
Well, I don't. I tend to drink rum a lot more, but I do like Fulcrum's beer, which only comes around in the summer for some strange reason. Oh well, it's not for some strange reason. It's just the batch. Yeah. So I'm just drinking a nice which goes Havana Club 7-year with Berenberg ginger ale. So that's really good. And then on top of that, I have the traditional which goes health potion, which I don't think you got to see, Ben.
No, this is amazing.
This is it's Kraken rum with cranberry juice, and then I just
Kraken
got it.
as in CRA. It's Kraken rum. It's so
like,
fucking good.
Like yeah, and then it's just in this like nice little potion bottle. I have another one now, which I'm gonna fill with Wicked, so that I have a mana potion one as well, just to keep with tradition. But
Make
yeah,
a fat frog to have the mix potion, health, hearts, health, and mana, all with one green potion.
Yeah.
So, did you say the name of the beer you drink is Fulcrum, as in it also has the name rum in it?
No, yeah. Actually, I didn't realize that. Saying on brand.
Cool.
It's actually just full rum. It says it's beer, but it's actually just full rum. Full rum bottle.
I also like the matte element to it, where it's just like, it's just a fulcrum, you know. So, yeah, nerd.
Lovely. If you're drinking anything in chat, let us know. If you're drinking anything while you're listening to the podcast or you're watching on VOD, get in touch with us at Homebrew Quest. And if you come across interesting beers, we love chatting beers. So much so, I think it's all we do in our Discord. I mean, it's a D&D Discord, but we mostly talk about beers. So if you want to join that, you can find us at... there's a link on our Twitter channel at Homebrew Quest. You know how the internet works. What else? What else on the announcements? Oh, well, we are partnered with Dakota Irish. Always have been, always will be. That's right, I've said it, so it's true. That's never changing. And if you use the code Homebrew10 at checkout, you can get 10% off your purchase of a finely crafted dice tray, vault, tower, amazing dice sets. Oh, they have it all. They even have plushies of Whiskey, their mascot dog, who is just the most adorable. Have to see him to believe him. So head over to dakotairish.com, and then when you're checking out, use Homebrew10 for that sweet 10% off. Last thing before I jump over to Lucy. Lucy, you're probably not. I didn't send you a message beforehand, but I'm just going to ask you to do the usual. Yeah, I know. Okay. It's almost our 2-year anniversary. That's wild, isn't it? Like, we're coming up like in 2 or 3 sessions. It's going to be our 2-year anniversary of doing this stream. And we will be I haven't done the math, but like maybe as remote as we were in person, which is also wild. So we're gonna see. We might do something special. We might not, because we all have jobs and do things in our 9-to-5s that kind of keep us from giving this our absolute all. But it is our 2-year anniversary, so if you want to celebrate, help us celebrate by like sharing the news about the show, telling people, joining the Discord, reaching out to us, all that stuff. Just that'll be sweet. It would be such a lovely, bubbly time, and I'm sure we'll be doing stuff on our social channels just to kind of say hooray. I won't make any promises while under the influence, because I've made that mistake before. Lucy, before I make promises under the influence, where else can they find the show if they're not watching live?
Yeah, if this is too much of an assault to your senses, if you cannot handle what we are doing for you here visually, which I know is a lot, there is actually a more sensitive way to consume this. You can consume it audio only. Everywhere you get your podcasts, come and find us. Search Homebrew Quest everywhere you get podcasts, and you can listen there. And you can even get some secret extra audio, because I made everyone like record little stings and intros and outros, so you can hear Keelan absolutely cringing his way through saying, "Hey, listen to the podcast." I
was gonna say that.
So go and.
It's always the bit that everyone skips, right? Everyone.
Well, it's the very beginning for like 10 seconds. So you could go to a podcast app now and just go through all the episodes and listen to just the intros and outros very easily. So if that's not tantalizing, I don't know what is. Back to you, Ben.
Thanks. This is the last time on my notes is gonna be here because I'm mean like that. A huge thank you to our technomancers behind on the screens. They're on the screens, and Paul is double jobbing, which is I'm still impressed. I can barely keep track of what I'm doing, so the fact that Paul can do everything at once infinitely impresses me. And a huge thank you. It feels weird when you're on the screen, Paul. So it's not that I don't feel it anymore. It's just odd when you're there. Like so.
I mean, he's only doing the one job at the moment. You know, he hasn't actually played any D&D yet.
Receiving praise, which is a job in itself. So thanks, Paul. It feels awkward because you feel obliged to respond, and you don't have to. That's the whereas look. I'll get over this. I'll get over not being able to thank you on the internet anymore.
What you don't know is the stream is going to drop every time he has to roll dice.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm more worried about. Is everyone's just like, oh my god, he's so good at double jobbing, and it's just like, yeah, like
because I mean, you just have to hold. You have to keep one finger on the record button the whole time, and another finger on the go out into the internet. So it can only use one hand to roll. You know, so it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, pretty much.
Who knew? He told you a long time ago not to set it up with a dead man switch, but you know.
Look, it's just so that no one can kill me off yet.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So, or the stream just goes, you know?
Or if the stream goes, Paul goes. That's the guarantee he gave us.
Yeah. That's
a reverse taunting. It's a reverse taunting. The first person to die takes everything with them. Right, well, without further ado, grab yourself a drink if you're not already drinking, pull up a chair as we dive into a world where anything is possible, but not always probable. Welcome back to the realm of Hibernia. And imagine, if you will, a bustling port city sitting in the mouth of a wide open bay. Overhead, we hear the call of seagulls. We feel the refreshing waves lapping up and spraying out and just adding just a nice hustle and bustle to the already bustling chatter of a busy port city. For this city is the center of sea trade in Hibernia, connecting east and west. A large land bridge stretches across the mouth of the bay, creating a majestic archway into what we know as Inish Bay, of which it's named after the bay of Inish Bay. So that's where we are. We're in the Bay of Inish Bay, and it gets its name. It's a circular thing. Anyway, this bridge is crowded with hapdash buildings, structures built above and dangling below. There's disused winches. We used to drop sort of produce onto the lower appropriate trading vessels. And up until more recently, they built a port just across the water. It is home and headquarters to a wide array of artisan guilds and co-op organizations, and home to one, Jacob Lervig of House Lervig. We see Jacob lying still in a pool of his own blood, down a side alley near the markets, the long shadows of early morning cast across his body as a large lanky form soaked in blood flees to the port. This assailant is muttering to himself, "Oh, it's happened again, it's happened again." And we see, separate to this, a young elven man with wire-frame glasses. He's whistling cheerfully to himself and carrying fresh produce from the market towards a boat named the Via Maris. Cheery greetings from fellow dock workers follow him on his journey. "Morning, Mr. Appleman. Story keen. Ain scale, mister." But before he can quite reach the SS Via Maris, a shadow nearby catches his attention. We see nothing but Keen entering a building, a crash and a struggle inside, before he emerges again. Although this time his gait is a little different. That cheer is all but gone, and his form shifts and alters slightly in the breeze. He boards the ship alongside his captain, a navigator, and some very unlikely passengers. In the distance across the bay, we see a flicker of activity in one of these buildings dangling from the land bridge at the port entrance of the city. It's the offices of the Malloy's Bottle Emporium, one of the premier distributors of fine craft ales and beverages. And from inside this office, we hear a crash and instantly see the form of a small and nimble halfling leaping out the bayside window, plummeting into the bay below. We see them swan-like dive into the waters before stealthing up and boarding the SS Via Maris as it leaves the docks and sets sail for Driat. Little do the passengers on board know, a half-elven woman, another halfling, a shrouded hulking form, that this is quite likely the beginning of an adventurous friendship. But that was then. And this is now, as we pan back up towards the offices of the Malloy's Bottle Emporium. Time moves forward around us, and we see entering this private office one very, very sexy adventurer by the name of Randir. So what we're going to do is zoom back in time to before Hooks Punks were Hunks Punks and do a sort of Randir backstory episode thing. Lucy and Keelan are going to play the sort of Greek chorus, or the ensemble, the NPCs. I'm going to play your Dungeon Master, and Randir is going to play Paul.
Surely a geek chorus.
Yeah, geek chorus. Very good. That's the general gist of this episode. And if anyone, not that they would know, because all of that happened off stream, but that was like a glimpse into the backstories of each little character in this show.
One's kitchen. That was not ever on the internet.
That was before
they're getting here.
Yeah, I don't remember jumping into the bay. Oh wait, that probably wasn't me. That was probably the other halfling.
Yeah, that was Rain.
That would make sense. I was like, well, I'm the only halfling, right? So
Was Arlington's on stream?
No, the only one that was on stream was Hooks.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So the body in the alley is all mystery.
I.e. the best one. You know, we kept the best one. All the other ones are practice. Paul gets a good one.
All the ones we could use as callbacks, we kept off stream, and the ones that we can't, we streamed.
Yeah.
So, right, for myself, because I caught a little bit of the Paddy's Day episode. I watched it all. I'm just playing coy. What does Randir look like?
So Randir is a mid-level kind of or like heighted dwarf, not tall, not short kind of thing, stocky as well. He's got a trench coat which has got like hat daddery armor plating kind of around us in weird places. On his back he's got a half-barreled backpack which has got weird kind of scrolls and random weird devices and stuff like that kind of protruding out of it, including 4 which got wooden cubes, all different colors, and on his side is a water skin that he carries around with him at all times, and then beside him is a small, but which is a new thing I had to add, is a small kind of weird barrel with 4 legs, which seems to walk around with him.
That's amazing.
That's my I had to build a homunculus as part of the artificer class, which I didn't do last time. So it's a homunculus.
And it's like a keg dog.
Yeah, it's like pretty much it's a keg dog. Like
It's
keg
like
dog.
the luggage in Discworld, but with a barrel and 4 legs.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Nice.
Does keg dog have like a keg tap nose and when slobbers with like beer or
Yeah,
whatever's in the keg?
Oh,
yeah,
is
pretty
it-
much.
Is it a barrel sideways? I was actually, for some reason, I imagined a barrel standing upright with 4 legs in the corners. I was like, that looks kind of weird, but sideways is much better for a dog. You know.
Yeah, so it's sideways with 4 legs, and then a kind of keg nose or a tap nose in it. So
The so this is new to us, and also I guess new to you as a player. Does keg dog have a name, or is it just, for Randir's point of view, is it just a thing?
it's called Keggy.
Keggy.
And it's essentially just a homunculus that helps him with his work, kind of thing. So it'll help. It does some other. It has its own kind of status and stuff like that, and will attack with me. But it's also very brittle, so I'd probably be trying to leave it. I'd be holding it back in battle.
Oh, don't worry, it will have plot armor. Keggy's not going anywhere.
So.
But now he's a sideways barrel, he could just roll off a hill.
We have no idea what's going to happen.
Can he pop his arms and legs back into his body and like play dead as a keg?
Oh yeah, like a turtle.
He could stand really still, and I guess if
probably.
you like, so
You would assume it was just a dog flattened by a barrel if you saw him like just lying.
yeah, like
Oh.
And he's like, I'm not going to look at that.
so. Yeah, it's
Just checking the same. Cool.
Right. So, Randir, you have been called into the office of the head of Malloy's Bottle Emporium. He's also the head of the Brewmasters Guild of Inish Bay and your employer. It's a lavish room. The last time you might have been in here was probably quite a few years ago when you were hired, but you haven't really had much contact with them since. It's a lavish room with a large oak desk that backs onto a huge bay window overlooking the bay of Inish Bay below. It's called a bay window because of its view of Inish Bay's bay.
Clever.
But at the moment, you do see that a section of it is boarded up, where someone appears to have sort of smashed through, sort of halfling-sized, and jumped into the water below. There is a lit fireplace to your side, and above the fireplace, you see a small open vault built into the wall. It is empty. You don't need to make any checks. It's empty. You can see that the contents were recently removed. Some might say stolen. I won't. And your boss is a stout human man with a very patchy beard. He has fine clothing, and he's eating in front of you a big greasy fry-up and smoking a big fat cigar. He's doing both of these things really well. Like, at times you think he's going to pick up a sausage to smoke, but he knows better. He knows what a cigar is, and he knows what a sausage is. His name is some people call him Harris, but you're not on first name terms with them. So there's other names you might know him by. You might know him by Mr. Rum, because I know that's what you're drinking. You might know him as the Pioneer.
Pioneer, yeah.
I've got a weird name on the side of this can. It's Po Jala. It's very hard to say.
Po Jala. I think that's like a little hat.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know what it is. It's on the side of the Lervig can. Could be a name. Po Jala. It's very not Irish. Or Fake Empire. Does he just want to call himself Fake Empire?
I think Po Jala. Po Jala is a great name. You've heard a lot of his names from Harris to the Pioneer, but Po Jala is almost a title of respect. So he is the Po Jala of the brewery. We all know that term. Sometimes they say head brewery, but sometimes they say boss and financer. In this world, it's Po Jala.
And it's definitely a hard J. There's no ambiguity there. No ambiguity there, no matter what. It's Po Jala.
Po Jala.
All right.
Okay.
I was already picturing like a Tony Soprano from your description of the fry and the thing. So I think this all fits.
You walk into him. No, you don't walk into him. That'd be crazy.
So he's angry. He's like, "What are you doing?"
I'm trying to eat my sausages and my cigar.
You wait politely as he sort of finishes off a portion of his breakfast, and he turns to you and goes, "Randir, I'm afraid we're going to have to let you go."
What? My first day?
Make a deception check.
I will grab my D20 and I will look at my deception. Ooh, not great. I got a 3.
A 3. He almost reaches for a 5 and goes, "Wait, you're not the Randir we hired this morning. You're the Randir I hired years ago. And actually, when you leave, send in the Randir we hired this morning. I have some terrible news for him."
I was going to say, you fired someone and then hired someone else. That's very insulting.
That is, yeah. Why, sir? I've been a loyal guild member for quite a long time.
No one is questioning that, Randir. No one at all, let alone me. But it was a matter of time before someone put a final nail in the coffin of this shipping business. You know, times are tough on the little guy, and well, we're also about to get quite the insurance payout. Enough to settle up and never have to dirty our hands with this brewing business again. Oh, disgusting brewing.
What? But you love brewing. That's all I've heard about you is loving brewing. What is this new? What has happened to you, sir?
No, I love money.
Oh, yeah. No, that's what I heard. Sorry, that's the money thing. It usually comes close to the brewing thing. Okay.
Speaking of, don't worry. We will compensate you for your time and work. Now, of course, Randir, you understand, we retain exclusivity on any beers, concoctions, inventions, contraptions that you've created under contract. However, with your compensation, you're more than welcome to buy those back from us.
Including Dying Light Ale?
He checks his files and goes, takes out a pen. He's like, well, before the contracts are signed, now including Dying Light Ale, yes.
But you hate that one. That's the lamplight one with the rubbing alcohol and the cave moss. You're stealing that as well?
Oh, it's not stealing. It's contractually taking. Under the law, it's different. I mean, in practice, very much the same thing. But under the law, different. And yes, I hate it, but you love it. And what you love, I can sell to you for money.
Yes, you can. I see the conundrum. How much to buy that one? That's the only one I care about. I shouldn't give everything away. Keggy, why?
Let me. This is a good opportunity to know a little bit more about Randir. So Randir's been working here for, let's say, a significant amount of time. Somewhere. What do you think, Paul?
I'd say probably most of his life, kind of thing.
Holy shit, that's a long time.
Well, no,
5 years.
Way to be fired.
He's been working for different guilds, which are, I guess would probably be slowly merge into one kind of like big guilds. Like he probably started off in the kind of local dwarven keeps guilds of brewmasters, and then kind of traveled a bit and then joined another one, and then that one was, taken over by bigger guilds in the town and stuff like that, So
this is becoming a consultancy metaphor, and I don't hate it. But yeah, you've been amalgamated into the Brewmasters Guild of Hibernia, or the Brewmasters Guild of Vinish Bay, which is one of the biggest ones because of its shipping route connections. It doesn't have a name, so why don't we give it a name? I have a Treaty City. Treaty City is the name of this. That's probably should be the name of a city, though. It's on the can, Ben, you idiot.
I have the Bundenberg ginger ale.
Yes, Bundenberg.
Bundenberg, yeah. That's a nice Australian classic.
Yeah, you're known as the Bundenbergs. So part of this big guild is the Bundenbergs, and everyone knows the Bundenbergs is the Brewmasters Guild of Inish Bay, although it's far-reaching. So wow, all of your life you've been working here. Okay.
Well, in guilds, in brewmastering guilds, like.
An important question is how old is Randir? All of his life could only be 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. He's about, I think, I don't know he's about 140. I think.
Jesus Christ.
Which I think is like half the age of a dwarf. It might have changed since 3.5, but it should be about he should be middle aged.
So he's been making beer here for like 140 years.
No, so probably for like if he's 140, he'd be like probably started when he was like 60.
Okay, so you're talking
80 years.
80 years. 80 years, and you still work for someone who can fire.
Yeah, everybody works for people for a long time. I'm a dwarf. Time does not work.
By the time of 80 years, you'd have thought you might have owned a company.
Well, I'm a brewmaster.
Gone into brewing for yourself.
Well, this is the thing. I've always wanted to own my own brewing company.
Yeah.
These are the thoughts that are going through your, like, Keelan's inner monologue is your inner monologue as you get fired.
I'm getting an existential crisis.
Yeah.
What have I been doing
for 80 years?
Those
Which is kind of nothing.
They're so mean.
So the last where we left off there was how much, and so Pojala takes out a piece of paper from one of his ledgers and he writes a figure on it, and he slides it across to you for you to look at, and he goes, "That figure there is your compensation. And actually, hold on, let me check. How do you feel about that? Just before I write down this next figure."
That compensation?
Yes,
I
you
don't
can
know.
look at the
How about
paper.
it?
Yeah, I gotta look at the paper.
All right, let's. Okay, 80 years. Let's say it's like a good amount of money. It's like 1,000 gold.
Okay.
Yeah. That's probably enough to set up your own brewery, I would say.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, cool.
But it means you've no reason to adventure with us after this. Okay, then we'll figure out a way to get all that money out.
Are you just gonna say that? Yeah, Dying Light Ale is now gonna be 995 gold pieces.
And 3 silver.
You could consider surely removing like some of the disgusting elements of Dying Light. You know, kind of do it. No, that's a crazy idea. Never mind. Buy it off him.
He's gonna start. Yeah, it's the octopus beer, right? I mean, it's a horrible.
It's it's essentially it means a lot to me and 5 other people. So
Yeah, he he slides over a figure, and what we should do is let's have a roll off, some sort of persuasion roll off. So roll persuasion, all roll persuasion. He is in a position of power. He's going to roll with advantage. He's a nasty capitalist.
I got 20.
Woo!
I got +5 to my persuasion.
Oh, nice.
And I got a 15.
Stick it to the map.
Yeah. So Dying Light plus anything else you have invented or created or concocted, including Keggy. He was gonna take Keggy. So anything you make is under contract. Is only going to cost you 40% of that. So you would still have 600 gold at the end of this. At the end of this transaction.
Okay.
Plus exclusive rights to anything that you've made and all that kind of stuff. And he seems pretty happy with that. He goes, well, I have a lot more firing to do today, so unless there's any specific questions you want to ask me about, a good day, Randir, and I say this with all the love of my heart. I hope I never see you again.
Right back at you. I'm just gonna leave. I was going to ask about the window, but you know what? You've already fired me, so I don't care.
The window, you say? Well, I have plenty of plot information about the window. Perhaps the safe that's been emptied. You know what? Head on. I don't want, you've your life ahead of you, Rand. You've half your life ahead of you, Rand.
Can I say, and I don't want to interject, it might be wrong. I've been imagining Keggy with like a stopper, like a cork stopper, you know, as an extra thing, but not on his front. But I was thinking Keggy could be like peeing on his desk by having removed the stopper as they're leaving. You know, it's like, oh, and then you should probably go. That's my interjection. You don't have to take it. I don't know if Keggy has a stopper. That's the thing.
He does now.
Yeah.
Might as well use him as.
Europeans.
Might as well use him as because he's also full of Dying Light ale, so it's awful.
Oh, great.
I was gonna ask that. So, as you leave, and as you make your way into the streets of Inish Bay, and you kind of look back, and you make your way even down towards the bay, and you're looking across at this land bridge. He's sitting in his office, finishing off his cigar, or finishing off his breakfast, and he flicks the butt to the ground by his desk. But what is Dying Light Ale made of?
Lamplight and rubbing alcohol and moss.
You see this little blaze in this office across the bay. And maybe Randir has the last laugh. Maybe not. I mean, people don't deserve to die, but... but yeah. So, oh no, why did I fire everyone, including the people who can put out fires? You hear as he screams across the way. And so Randir's been in Inish Bay for quite a long time then. So he's been here brewing for the Inish Bay Brewing Company. If it's 80 years brewing, probably the guts of that. Do you think he has any sort of business to tie up in Inish Bay, or what's sort of going through his mind as he walks through the streets?
So yeah, I guess like yeah, from his existential crisis and his internal monologue he's had with the other members of this crew, he probably is going to start adventuring and seeing if he could so he's just like, I'm going to just move them to the side and not let them bother anyone really. So it'd be probably kind of getting everything sorted there, and then probably saying goodbye to some friends like in the local pub that he also probably annoys, and then probably travel on to see if he can find more fortune to start up his brewing company.
Yeah, nice. I think we cut to your workshop is on top of a tavern called Spare the. Oh, there is one. Sorry, there is one. Jet Black Heart was the name of the tavern in Inish Bay. Oh, I am so proud of myself. Um, it's a seedy tavern, and you're above it, and you walk in, and the day bartender's there because it's still early morning. Ah, hey, Randir. And there's a couple of local barflies. Lucy, you're a local barfly in this establishment. Who are you? What are you? What's your backstory? We don't have all session, but just like a little snippet.
Samantha is kind of an orc that is hiding her identity. I don't know anything about orcs, so I might regret saying that.
Why she's hiding her identity, so she has to be inconsistent with being an orc.
Yeah. She's
Perfect.
wearing lots of scarves, but as if it's a fashion statement. She's quite large, and so her large, oversized items are slimming. So she's hiding her identity with a very large kind of blanket scarf, and just pouring beers in on top, kind of soaking the scarf as it goes through. And her eyes just light up when she sees Randir because, like they often spend like many a time chatting, and so yeah, she's excited to see him. Randy, what's up? Your favorite nickname?
I feel like this is going to be one of those episodes where it's like, this is the person who bullies me, but we're still kind of friends.
Yeah. I punch him on the arm as I say that,
Do I know that you're an orc, or is that also still a secret? Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've spent many a night drinking and chatting, and so you've definitely seen under my many scarves.
Cool. Hey Sam, how's it going?
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, it's pretty quiet in here. God, all those losers at their jobs and stuff.
Well, let's just get drunk. Like, I just got fired.
Yeah, wait, aren't you? You're usually one of those people that doesn't drink all day. What are you doing here?
Well, I got fired. So it's a good excuse to just get hammered.
I mean, you've never been cooler to me, Randy. That sounds great. Let's definitely get some celebratory beers. I want to shout
Sure
them
thing, Sam and Rand. The celebratory beers. I'll go to the middle shelf for them. He doesn't fully dust them off. They're not
the expensive ones.
Oh, right.
Just a regular
So
beer,
fresh.
so with some pep, please.
I mean, bottom
Not
shelf
really.
is top shelf to a dwarf. Everyone knows.
It's
Like you
on
could
the sign in
talk
the bar.
halfling.
I'm not a halfling. I'm not even here.
And so I'm going to say thanks, Randy, for I'm happy to celebrate. Thanks for buying me this beer to celebrate this day with you. Cheers for that. And what are your plans? What are you going to do now that you've got all the free time? Because none of that stupid work.
I guess I'll go try find out.
Oh, that's my cue. Okay, yeah.
No. I guess I gotta go find my friends, and there's these 5 like other dwarves that we've always talked about setting up our brewing company ourselves, and I'll probably try go find those guys and see if they're interested in starting up that dream that we've had for ages. Ever since that cave in.
Oh, cool. Are they still there? Are you looking for the bodies?
You're right there. You look up to the sky, and what you don't see, but what we all see is this thought, boop, 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 and we're in a cave-in with 5 dwarves. One of them is Randir, but you don't know which one. They're all dwarves, so hard to tell them apart. But yeah, we go into that cave-in, and this is the inception of, if I'm not wrong, Dying Ride Ale. But this moment we're all viewing as the audience is not the inception of that, because there is very little light in this space, and things are looking dire. You're surrounded by your 4 friends, Randir, and one of them goes, I swear if we make it out of this, I'm gonna start a brewery.
Oh, well, as the local brewing initiative, it would be really nice if I could join you.
Yeah, sure thing, Randy. I'm never going to regret making this promise. What about you guys? And he looks towards you, Keelan and Lucy, and old the silent dwarf doesn't say anything. There's always one that doesn't speak. That's canon in everything you see dwarves in. You keep an eye out, you'll notice. But yeah, you guys are there. What are you guys like as dwarves?
Well, I, very brightly coloured, big white beard, kind of comically coloured hat, and a pickaxe on my shoulder. And I love singing my classic tune, Hi Ho. More like Hi Ho. Hi Ho.
Nice.
I'm the no one ever talks about the cartoon dwarves. That's a type of dwarf as well, and so I'm quite bright and colourful and happy.
Are you the doctor?
Actually, I'm not happy because Happy Works is the name. Why not Happy?
Would you say, like, to pass the time during your job, like, would you hum, would you sing, or how would you pass the time?
In fact, almost all I ever say is hi ho, because that's most of my memory of the reference that I'm trying to pull towards.
Oh, that would make sense that you didn't land the whistle while you work setup. I was.
Yeah. Also,
it's just the hi ho part.
Whistling across microphones is unpleasant for everyone. So not that I'm not a mean whistler, and definitely Happy the dwarf.
All right.
Happy
Canonically the exact same dwarf we see in other franchises. So everyone hates Happy. Lucy, what's your dwarf?
Yeah, my dwarf can be called Hopeful, and he's got a real, like, his clothes are all total patchwork. It's all different hides, all kind of sewn together, kind of somewhat creatively, and he's there kind of just like building some little things. And he's like, "Oh, you're gonna have a brewery? Oh, I've always wanted to. Do you think if you ever get to do that, can I make the sign? I've always imagined how I'd sculpt the most amazing signs for things. That's my one wish in life, is to get to name a pub and get to make a beautiful sign for it." And I'm just like whittling some rocks in the place.
Yeah, and I've written a whole new song for it. It goes hi ho, hi ho.
So just for the audience and for my sakes, in this world where you can be absolutely anyone, Keelan, you've decided to be a happy person who makes friends with everyone, and Lucy, you've decided to be an artist who draws and makes.
No.
Checking.
I didn't decide to be friendly. He's just.
I realized it as I was saying it, but I nearly said artistic. I was trying to think what I can add to this pub, and I was like, all I could think of was pubs have signs. So yeah, you have uncovered the limits of our creativity.
The main reason I picked this type of dwarf is because Paul hates the idea of this type of dwarf. It's never the dwarf he plays. So it's fun to imagine like a gritty, normal dwarf walking alongside some kind of happy singing bright
and
dwarf.
Be one of his best mates. That's great.
Yeah, and he's just really annoying. It's very similar to Huck, but he's not friendly. That
was more like a
thing. He's very happy, but quite mean.
He's happy at being mean.
I just want to clean toilets of a pub. Maybe one day I can get a job if we ever get out of here. Is that better, Ben? How's that?
Yeah, that's much better. That's
Are we gonna?
I love that you all shoot for the moon with all your dreams there. What was Lucy's name? What was her name?
Last week?
Hopeful. Okay, yeah. Actually, that makes sense. I get it now.
It's true though. Iggy as a dwarf.
No, you're called Hopeful.
I was hoping someone might have a Hopfully beer, and at least we could tie it back to what we do on this show. But
I do
speaking
have
of,
a beer.
oh, nice. So you're hopeful, short for Hopfully.
Hopefully, that's what you look like.
Oh, okay, I'll take it. That is extra, would be useful.
Yeah, you look like that, and things that it says to do on the can: drink fresh. Also, do not age. So don't age.
So the immortal hopeful.
Yeah. She doesn't age at all.
It's stressful to hear, I'll be honest. I don't know if I can keep up with that instruction. Even in a fictional world, Keelan, it's unrealistic standards. Okay.
All right. So we've Randir, we've Happy, we've Hopeful, we've the guy I was playing. My name's Melody Noir, son of Fruitropolis, heir to the throne of the Burst Empire. So I'm just bringing it back to where Paul's most comfortable. That's all I'm doing. Yeah. Father to a murdered wife, husband to a murdered son.
So my most happiness is Gladiator.
Yeah, but also a weird version where this guy's
Gladiator with a kind of like Lord of the Rings spin.
Which
is also very bad.
Which is also
as he was slagging us for what we were doing.
Hey, no, your piece. And then the last guy, the silent one, is called the Chancer.
Oh, nice.
He's a good. You don't know his real name. Just know he's happy-go-lucky. We're in this cave-in, and it is a small, like, you're huddled together close because there's rocks all around you. It's not like a classic D&D cave-in where there's just rocks at the end of a corridor. You are in like an igloo of rocks, not knowing how you're going to get out. You can barely see a sort of pinprick of lights through it. I don't know if we're going to get out of here to start that brewery, Randir. And happy and hopeful. And the Chancellor, I don't know if you're in, but I got a feeling you're in on this too. So,
I feel like he's going to take a chance.
Oh, you never when what the Chancellor's doing. I talk like this now. That's what I've decided my voice.
It must be the lack of oxygen going to your head, buddy. But hey, they're just dreams, hey, Randir. We're never making it out. We're never, ever, ever making it out.
I feel a song coming out.
Oh, God.
I'm not singing.
I have to say that I can't wait for like later on, like, you know, in like a year's time when we're all streaming together, and then you bring this back as my kind of like, yay, Randir gets all this kind of like plot line now, and Keelan has to remember this voice. Yeah.
I don't even remember. I don't even remember it now.
I know, it's gonna be really fun.
I talk like this now. I don't know how to. It's probably Southern American. That'll be fun.
Yeah. So, which could just another part of the cave-in thing, just to kind of add to it, is it was in a they got into a storeroom before kind of completely collapsed and stuff. So there is kind of jars and broken stuff around the place. So Randir kind of grabs a bit of lamp oil and like gets the rubbing it. There's a bit of rubbing alcohol and kind of puts it together, and it just looks awful. It looks absolutely dreadful. It's like, you know, mucky, kind of weird, kind of oil, like swooping around. So he kind of sees that there's like, when she gets moss growing on the wall, kind of thing, or around the rocks. So he kind of grabs it and kind of like, you know, wrings it out into the thing, and then just kind of like gets a flint and just like lights it on fire. And you can get a little bit of light.
Nice. This is my first time ever DMing an artificer. Is there like an artificer role? Like, do you have to roll sleight of hand or dex, or is there like artisan's tools with proficiency? That's probably what it is.
Yeah. So I have alchemist supplies and brewing supplies, carpenter tools and alchemy kind of tools. So like, because my artificer is an alchemist. So I guess It would be. I have no idea actually.
Tell you what, roll 2d20, and if it's kind of a dud result, you can let me know. But based on the dice roll alone, you might be fine without having to add stats.
I got a 19. So.
Nice. Yeah. Plus whatever you need to add to that. And there's a little DM tip for you DMs out there. Sometimes start with the dice, and if you need to, consult the sheets. 19 plus modifiers will definitely get you above. You concoct what is probably the first iteration of Dying Light Ale. And in this moment, as this light sparks up, we cut back to the Jet Black Heart as the bartender goes, Randir, this stuff's disgusting. Why do you keep handing me things like this? Anyway, you were talking about maybe getting out of this deadbeat city, doing something with your life.
Yeah, I really want to. Yeah, I want to meet the guys and Happy and Hopeful and Chancer and that other guy.
Yeah, I get the feeling sometimes, Randir, your dwarven names are too long to remember, so sometimes just having short and easy ones are the better way to go, huh?
He was the first of something. Yeah, I gotta go meet those guys and see if they want to start up the brewery, like a brewing company. I think it'll be great. I think they really like Dying Ale, or Dying Light Ale. It's gonna be fantastic. And I have so many good ideas that I kept away from that boss. I can't remember his name.
Oh, don't you spill gill of the Pogella here, because he gives us the beer, so...
He won't anymore.
Oh, well, you can speak ill all you want then. I guess I'm shutting up shop too.
Well, I've got an opportunity for you. I can give you all the supply of Dying Light Ale that you want.
You couldn't pay me to take it off your hands.
Are you sure?
Make a persuasion check, I suppose. because maybe you could.
I got a 21 altogether. My rolls are ridiculous.
I tell you what, Randy, I'll take one bottle of it and I'll put it up here. I'll never sell it. It will just be your little space in this bar.
Cool.
Right up here on the top shelf. Or for you dwarves, is it more an honorific if I put it on the bottom shelf?
I feel it's worse if you don't put it on the top shelf, like, because I'm shorter.
Yeah, you're right. I'll put it on the top shelf. And he puts up a little bottle and clears out some space. And almost like a... maybe like an old boxing gyms kind of thing where he might put little trophies from the people who passed through his bar in some sort of display. You get the feeling that there's your spot and like a few other maybe could have been, would been, has been, might be people that he's come across on the top shelf of this bar. Do you know where these dwarves are? Like, have you kept in touch, or is it sort of a... Yeah.
Like, I knew that one of them was, well, I guess one of them would be probably like out like near the Dwarven Keep that I like came from, which is Wolfhead Keep, I guess. Like, it's a small keep, it's not really that large. Like,
What was that?
I don't know, Ben. I don't want to just plant.
Where is Wolfhead Keep?
Yeah, I just.
I'm wondering, yeah, if it's
I don't
like how are you anywhere that the Hound is like you hear everyone's coming in here with stories about it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's safe to go out there.
Like, yeah, I guess I'd have to get a ship or something, or I'd just go out into the Wonderlands and just... Actually, yeah, Randir would probably just brave the Wonderlands, or the Wildlands, because if he came across the dog, he'd probably just be interested in us, because he's a artificer. Weirdly curious about everything.
Give him a sip of that beer, and he'll be done. You're grand.
True.
Yeah, that's true.
If you want to know where Happy is, he's living in a house share with 6 other dwarves and a human woman.
Oh yeah.
It's a weird thing. He's actually not that happy about it. He'd rather there be less other dwarves, or he was living somewhere else, you know.
Is it because that she took all 7 beds and put them together to make her one bed, and you're just like,
Yeah.
where the hell are we meant to sleep?
It's really unfair. They have to, and they, go and mine all the time. He's happy about that part.
Very possessive dwarves.
Yeah.
Mine.
Yeah.
Mine.
Mine. Me.
That's all they think about. Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't taste like raspberry at all. It is delicious, but there you go. Just thought I'd see as we talked about it. I wanted to drop the suspense,
Oh, thank God.
Now we're going to lose all those viewers who are waiting to hear about it.
Yeah.
Come on, Keegan.
I should have waited.
Keep that to the end.
Come back to the second half to find out if this is raspberry.
Wolfhead Keep is in a sort of an outpost to the Chorus Mountains in the west of Hibernia. The biggest city in those mountains is probably Sleeve Gem. So if any of them have made it to a city, they've probably been Sleeve Gem, but they could be anywhere along that mountain range. From all the way down in Dracht, all the way up to where Sleeve Gem is in the top there. Your easiest way to it, as you were saying there, Paul, Randir's probably just going to backpack on his back and hook it seems. Different hook. But you do know on your way, there is a newly constructed road that leads out of Inish Bay. And rumor has it that if you stay on this road, the Black Hound is less likely to kind of cross your path, or you might get an extra day or two. Something about the materials used in the road seems to repel it in some shape or form. There's a couple of farmlands you can pass through. There's talk of sort of jackal wares and stuff in that sort of area. And your nearest village where you might be able to get a boat, if you wanted to start at the sort of the south and work your way up, is a small little fishing village called McKellar. In the town of McKellar, you do happen to know that there is another artificer. You don't know who they are or what they look like, but you've just heard rumors that there's some sort of mad inventor out there that's making big shapes in the world of artificing. So that's probably where you'd end up, at least on the first starts of your journey. Mm-hmm. So you make your way towards that. But we'll just sometimes you can just cut out travel because you're by yourself. And actually, no, sorry, we cut to day 2 on your travel. It's just you at the campfire and Keggy. What sort of deep secrets are you going to tell each other?
Well, if I'm near that road, I'm near the road that seems to be having some kind of interesting material in it that's keeping the...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd probably kind of always, yeah, I'm kind of interested in how this has happened because, yeah, as Lucy said, like we would have heard horrible stories of like the Black Hound kind of harassing everybody who traveled. So like having this mysterious suddenly roads that suddenly started popping up everywhere, I probably were just like, what material is keeping, like it's obviously something magical or infused with old ruins or some kind of old magic or something like that,
Oh, you're dead right. You're darn right it is. So you make your way out of the city, and the sort of land gates of Inish Bay aren't half as impressive as the land bridge in through the bay itself. So it's just sort of this, almost run down wooden entrance. But as soon as the gates open, it's a pristine cobbled road, and it stretches out into the farmlands ahead. You get down, make an investigation check, and if you want to use your artificer tools, you can add your proficiency to that if you're not already proficient, because you'd sort of be taking samples like a cool archaeologist.
I am already proficient in investigation,
Nice.
so
Archaeologists are already cool.
I gotta say, this purple dice, you're doing me well. I got a 19 plus 8, so 27.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think
Yeah,
that-
you get down on the side of the road.
For us.
Huh?
You probably solved the whole road thing for us.
Oh,
Yeah, but what I'm doing is getting all his good at rolls out before he joins you, chuckle fucks. It's nothing but natty ones from here out.
It's gonna be. I'm gonna be. I've got two other D20s. I'm hoping they're gonna be doing it just as well as the job of when purple like fails.
Yeah, you make your way along the road, and you, with Keggy to the side, backpack on, ready to face the elements ahead. And you get down and you start kind of scraping up those samples. And what you notice is, while you cannot, unless you want to make like an Arcana check, in which case I actually then will have to look it up if you do well enough. But you can make an Arcana check to take the school of magic, that's being used. But ultimately, on surface level, you see that it seems to be cobblestones, and you know the way sometimes they fill cobblestones with like a cement or a tar or a sort of a filling. This filling seems to be pure iron. I
Okay.
was about to say pure uncut iron, as if that was cooler. Like, oh, you got some raw iron. But it seems to be these iron veins running through it. And you notice at the side of this road, the nature itself is almost trying to rebel. You can see that there's kind of a bloom of plants and wildlife creeping up over it, creating almost this hedge tunnel. It's almost like it's shutting out the world. You might think, well, maybe it's that. Maybe it's the kind of cover, because you've often heard if you sleep inside, the Black Hound won't get you. It keeps you safe.
Yeah.
But that just makes they haven't grown that close yet, so
Yeah, I don't think I do an Arcana check. I think he's very kind of, I guess, of the material world. So I guess if he doesn't detect any kind of magic, he's just like, yeah, iron. I guess that's okay. Like he must think that there's some kind of, I don't know, it's some kind of allergy, kind
That's
of
fair.
thing. He's
Yeah,
just,
like Randir lives in a material world, and he is a material dwarf, so it makes sense that he wouldn't do our Arcana. And so you make your way along the road. You gather that this seems to be this sort of infusing of iron, and it would make a couple of links start connecting in your brain, because the Black Hound being a sort of monster creature, and Fey invasions, and the existence of an organization you know of as the Fina, but you haven't really crossed paths with them. Like, that's all sort of interconnected, and iron, at least iron as pure as this, has some effect on those creatures. So it must be something there that it's just like bad beer to your palate is this iron to that dog's paws.
Yeah. I think he would have heard of that kind of little bit of Fey kind of knowledge from passerbys in the bar and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't think he'll look any further into the iron or its makeup. He'll be just like, oh yeah, iron, that makes sense, kind of thing. I know that some creatures hate it.
I was gonna say there, Ben, you said uncut iron, but that actually works quite well with, I think, cold iron is the origin of Fey being not liking iron. I think it goes back as far as the Greeks. But anyway, I think cold iron, I looked it up once, and it's like unrefined. It's back when we didn't know what to do with iron. We didn't know how to work it, so it's pre-Iron Age. Cold iron was kind of brittle, I think. But it's unrefined. So you said uncut. Cold iron actually works because it's the origin of the Fey thing. Anyway, that's just a relatively
It
factual.
made me look super clever, so
Yeah.
I'm more than happy for that. It was. I was trying to think cold. I was trying to think of the word cold, and I was like, uncold? No, it must be uncut like diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, it is. It is cold iron, which is really impressive to you, Randir, because given how brittle it is and how unworked it has to be to then retain its unworked form or worked into a thing, like it's masterwork.
Yeah, I think I'd be impressed, but also I don't think I'd be knowledgeable enough to kind of like I'd have to be the magic thing would have to be staring me in the face if there's any magic or anything. Otherwise, it's just like, yeah, iron, cool. Yeah, I know some stories about that.
Yeah, you make your way along the road, and it takes you. You get like about a week into your journey, and you're just about on the crescent of this sort of forest road. There seems to be a bit of activity nearby. You see sort of the husks of sort of not recently dead, but kind of nearly dead spider creatures. They seem to just be kind of there on the edge of the bridge road. And it seems to be that the actual road itself has stopped. Although you did catch up with there was a couple of druids who were working the earth beforehand, and a couple of cobblers. Is that what you call them? Stonemasons. Laying the track, and they were sort of working in tandem. So you slowed down your pace a little bit just to kind of see them work, and you picked up a little bit more information about it as you moved with them. And in that time, you heard a little bit of grumbling and mumbling because you were coming up to a small farmyard called the Dead Pony Club, and there was some talk of like these farmers don't seem to want to sell their land, or they just don't want us to build a road through it because apparently the road might go like according to the plans anyway, and they have to stick to the plans. They've had multiple arguments at night being like, surely it's fine if the road deviates, and the leader of their group is like, the road cannot deviate. It has to be to the meter precise, and this cuts right through their house. So at this point in time, your road is dead, but there's plenty of ways around. You can skirt, you could just head straight to the coast and straight to McKellar, and rushing water or running water is also a place where you might stay safe. You would imagine there's a couple of shelters and coves by the seaside that you might be able to get some shelter in. Or, of course, there is this farmyard and farmland ahead of you.
I guess, well, I'd probably go to the Dead Pony Society just to maybe pick up more supplies, just in case there's anything, like, just road rations and stuff like that, as before I head towards the coasts kind of thing to start up the coast towards McKellar. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So you make your way through. You kind of leave the workers behind in the middle of their dispute, and you come to this farming island. And on one side you see kind of open fields, and the other you see sort of curated crops and other crops on one side, animals on the other. That's how they're doing their farm. It's this cozy little 3-story cottage with a little windmill sort of power generator on the side, because you can see the small farm river, and you'd imagine that's maybe how they get a little bit of their energy and a little bit of their, not electricity, but power to make bread or run a mill, that kind of stuff. And you make your way up to the door. It is closed, and there doesn't seem to be any sort of sign of life, although there is footprints all around, as if, potentially a boisterous group of adventurers were here recently.
Okay.
Would we have been, I was going to say, I would have thought he would be there just before us. He's only a day after we left on the boat, right? Or 2.
Yeah, but it took him about a week or so to actually make it down.
Proper travel, and we had a boat. Yeah, because I was trying to figure that out while you were talking. I was like, so he'll arrive before and have to like leave within a couple of days, otherwise he'll encounter us and create a
celebrate. She was really celebrating his redundancy, so they had a good bender. I think.
Yeah.
It might have been a couple of days before you left the city as well.
Also, he cleared out some of his experimental brews that were up in the workshop, which also turned out to be like 100% proof, and only the dwarf and orc survived. So we had to get out of town real quick. No.
Bounty posters being splashed just one street over.
Why does everyone start off with this as a criminal?
One city.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's true. We all start off there, and most of the people are criminals or wanted. So
maybe they've an excess of blank bounty posters, and they just need to fill them in, so anything becomes a crime.
Yeah.
Someone made too many blank bounty posters. It's like, why did I just keep it as paper? We could have done anything with paper, but I printed bounty. I printed dead or alive on so many sheets of paper.
Put that mother who's ill on it. Yeah, there we go.
Dead.
The crime is loving too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make your way to this farmland, and just as you're approaching the door, a human man comes out. He seems quite spry, looks a little bit tired, as if he might have had a sort of run-in with death recently, but he's okay. He goes, "How are you? Carl O'Dwyer here of the Dead Pony Club. We're not quite a B&B, but we will be a B&B as soon as we get that road money. We have had a couple of guests. I tell you, they left some reviews. We had this one guy. He was a real bastard. He was kind of a Gith. If you ever come across a Gith, they're like interplanetary, inter-realm beings. I didn't know that before he told me to, but he was hunting down these other lads, and these other lads actually seemed quite good. They're helping me at the... I'm being rude. I'm Carl. I've said that. Do you need a place to stay?"
I'm very now interested in the story of an international being.
Yeah, well, apparently they sail in their pirate ships through the astral seas, and, well, to be honest, then I went to go ask him more questions, and he'd already checked out, gone, disappeared. Who knows where he ended up, but he enjoyed his stay, and he paid up front.
So...
He was an interdimensional being.
The Githar.
The Githar. He was a Gith?
Yeah, way back when.
No idea. It's the first time hearing it.
Randy's writing this all down as well.
Yeah.
He's interested. He's just like, oh, what was he like? Or what was this creature being thing like? Was he friendly, nice? Could you see through him? Did you get some kind of feeling around him?
That's no question.
Huh?
Yeah, no, he was just very intense, you know. He was dead set in capturing a couple of bounties from Inish Bay. God, like, the crime in that city seems to be on the up. It's like they're just printing bounty posters out there.
Surely if he was intense, he wouldn't have needed a B&B. He'd have been sleeping out.
Camps. Yeah, he would have just pitched it. Yeah. Classic. Sorry, Paul. Usually we give Keelan a character to play, and that sort of saves something.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, the puns and the...
Now I'm just me.
Oh, no.
This is episode 2, by the way. If anyone is wondering what we're talking about, I just look back. This is all episode 2 goodness, if you flashback.
I think we recorded it, but the quality might be quite bad. So maybe if we ever get to sort of releasing stuff, well, it's there. Yeah.
Oh, maybe that was my note of that, but that was optimistic, yeah.
After 39 plus episodes for you guys, this one's for us.
I guess he'd write down any information that, you know, he had about this GIF, you know, or just to see. As he said, he's interested in everything, so.
Yeah, he takes some notes. And as you're chatting to Carl, you learn that his wife is a woman called Citra O'Dwyer, and she is a herbalist, apothecary. What do you call people who make alchemist? It's not an alchemist.
A herbalist thing, if you wanted to go herbalist.
Yeah. She's a herbalist.
Tobacconist?
Which I don't think she's a tobacconist. It's more
Is she a witch?
You know what I mean? Mortar pestle makes the drinks. She runs a juice bar. She runs a fantasy juice bar.
Okay.
I just noticed your kegs there, and my wife would love you because she loves concoctions and potions and all this. Do you want to have a look? I probably shouldn't show you, but to be honest, between you and me, I showed this other group this room the other day, and they took a few. And I'm already in trouble, so we might as well go up.
Might as well double down. I get you.
Yeah. It leads you up into a small but tidy studio space where there is a mortar and pestle. There's sort of a bowl, fresh water from the river outside. It's an impressive setup, and it's shelves of these kind of potions. Some of them are red, blue, green. Little cork stopper on top. I don't know if you have a visual representation of what I'm talking about, but you know what I mean. It's some sort of like glass vial and with a long neck. Look, I know it's really hard to imagine these things, so hopefully I'm doing it justice. It kind of makes it like a pop sound. You're right, Paul. That's what it does. But it's all there in front of you. And you go, some of these make you feel great. Some of these make you feel fast. Some of these make you feel see-through. Speaking of see-through, some of these make you feel see-through, and some of these, some of them. Hold on, and he takes a little sort of cardboard spinning wheel, and you see this very intricate. As an artificer, you'd kind of know this. It's an ingredients wheel. So as you turn kind of the center, and then the middle, and then the outside, you can line up sort of different herbs, and that will tell you in the bottom as it kind of reveals. It's a real technical, mechanical device. And as you spin it and wheel it and turn it, like the name of the thing down the bottom. So like health or invisibility or haste in certain ways. He goes, she uses this. She made it herself, actually. I keep saying to her, she needs to go out and sell these to people because, you know, democratize the system and just, you can find these things all around. So just herbs and foraging and kind of anything in the, you know, a bit of wild garlic here and a bit of acorn there and a shave and a hazelnut. And I'm sure that's just healing potions.
And you could call that device the tool or the toll.
The toll wheel.
Yeah. With the O with the line through
it. This is shame on me because way back in session 0 or whatever, I was like, I'm gonna make one of these and I'm gonna make it real, but it's gonna be a real thing. And then I was like, it's never gonna come up.
It sounds like a centrifuge to me, but is it a centrifuge?
No, I guess it's like...
I have a picture of one. I have a picture of one that I can share in the Discord group to everyone afterwards as well. There's visual.
Yeah, so is it sort of like, this each wheel has like herbs on it, and as you align the herbs, there's like a item in the middle that tells you what the potion that you make from the herbs will do? Is that the kind of thing?
Yes, exactly that. It's they used to do it for like, the classic one you might see online is like an anti-stain one. So if it's like silk or cotton or linen, you spin the wheel and you see like different ingredients you might use, like salt or wine or acidics and stuff like that. So it is it's one of those, like, you might find it in like an old 1950s magazine as a really useful cutout tool.
Cool.
I'll share a picture of one in the old Discord. I love them because they're fun. They're like these little things, but for actual useful things and not just finding out who your crush is.
I guess,
which is useful, obviously.
It is.
It's an adult thing. Like when we're younger, we get to find out our crushes. When we're adults, we get to learn what we have allergies to and what will.
I also played mind games.
Mm-hmm.
Mind game. That's the worst part. Mind games. Dishwashers, man. Worst part of a relationship is a dishwasher. That's what I found out.
Are you in a relationship with a dishwasher?
I am happily engaged with a dishwasher.
I don't know if she enjoys being called a dishwasher.
She doesn't. I'm really hoping that this isn't the episode that she watched. She does listen. Oh no.
I was making
Keelan walked you into that. That wasn't. You weren't crossing any lines. We knew what you were talking about, and then Keelan called your fiance a dishwasher. There's where the misogyny creeped in. Don't worry, I was on board, Paul. I got your back.
Lucy said, "Are you going out with a dishwasher?" So you know.
Yeah, but I was still assuming like an actual mechanic.
Yeah, I was also
going out with a fridge. You know,
I don't take it back, and I'll talk to her. I'll talk to her after this.
Fair.
I guess
this is what you mean, Paul, by they destroy relationships.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one when she listens to this, because she every now and again she'll pop in and just be like, "Yeah, I like that episode," and I'll be just like, "Wait, what?" Because she listens to a couple of new things, Besties and Adventure Zone and Homebrew Quest as well. You know,
the fact that we're in that list, and don't tell me it's a personal connection. Don't tell me. I know we didn't get there by merit, but we're in that list.
Actually, it is. It's not a personal connection because I wasn't on the other ones. Like she was just like yeah, I'm kind of interested. She loves D&D as well, so.
This one, maybe we can count this one as a pity watch because she's like, "Oh, it's Paul, it's your backstory."
Yeah, yeah.
But you know that she watched the other ones. That's cool. Nice.
But yeah, I guess Randir would kind of. I'm going to move on to the other thing so I don't get in any more trouble. I love you. Randir would be really interested in this kind of wheel, especially if the herbalist, this guy's wife kind of invented it. He'd probably, can I see it? Like kind of thing.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I've basically handed around everything she owns these days. I am the worst. And he hands it right over to you. He's
going to just attack the no. He's just gonna view it and kind of just turn it a couple of times and just kind of be interested in us and stuff. And he I guess he pulls out some notes. He pulls out like a blank piece of paper and writes some stuff on it. These are notes and kind of how to like better shore up the construction and stuff like that to make it more easier to build, like cheaper to build, and just kind of hands it to the guy as well. And he says like, you should give this to your wife, kind of thing.
Oh wow. He's like, I will. Yeah, that's wow. She's going to be so thrilled. Well, you probably don't want me around the entire time you're staying here, but there is a room made up. There's breakfast in the morning now. It's mine. She's off at the moment. Actually, funny enough, that's where those adventurers are going. I think she might be in danger, and I've sent them after to protect her from the Black Hound. You might know him. You might not know him. But they're on their way to McKellar. So they were a fine bunch, actually. They've kind of inspired. Maybe I'll go a bit travelling around. I mean, they just kind of travelled and nothing was a problem with them. So I wouldn't mind stretching the old legs. Anyway, a fool's dream, says I.
I am a fool and I'm travelling, so you should just travel around the place. You know? Hire
Paul,
some...
roll a straight intelligence check.
Ooh, that purple's not doing well. So I got a 10 altogether.
10's not bad. From your time tinkering with the herbalist wheel, you did manage to sort of pick up the ingredients for a basic healing potion. So that you just kind of gather that knowledge osmosis wise. If it was higher, it probably would have been like other stuff. But yeah, like you know now, like with a bit of foraging, with a bit of alchemy, with a bit of kind of mixing and concocting, you could probably make a healing potion. Can you already do that? Is that a bad thing to give an artificer?
No. He can do a couple of different things and stuff, like kind of probably lower grades than what this person or like what this herbalist professionals can do. As in, he's mostly gone into, I guess, like beers and stuff like that. So
poison.
Yeah, I guess that would be the technical term of it, I guess.
Almost the exact opposite of a healing potion.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. You gotta polarize the ingredients. That's how that works.
Yeah, clever. Yeah, I get it.
So instead of salt, you use pepper.
Yeah.
Instead of water, you use air.
Or fire.
Or earth. Any of the other elements will do.
Actually, all elements are the same.
Write this down. This is really important.
Let's get it. Notebook. I don't have a pen. That was a waste.
That's okay. We've recorded this for prosperity.
Cool. Yeah. So he would also ask us, does he have any kind of barley as well? If you have any kind of barley and road rations to sell him.
Oh yes, well, road rations easy enough. I can sell you road rations for I'll call it a silver piece, and I'll set you up for a couple of days. Barley, well, it's not barley season, but I've dried barley.
That would
just barley dry. I don't know if barley dries, but in this world, barley dries.
Or wheat or any wheat would also.
One funny thing about barley season, it also happens to be wheat season.
I have no idea about farming, so. If you've
all I learned was Stardew Valley. I'm pretty sure you grow your wheat in all year round. Maybe, who knows?
If he has dry barley as well, Randir would take a. He looks at Keggy and then kind of goes about that much and kind of points at Keggy, to fill him.
Now, you've said that as if it was an obscure amount, but I literally have a visual representation of how much you need, and that is really useful, to be honest, because sometimes people just kind of go, like, this much, and that, I can get you that much barley, don't you worry. He comes back, all in all, your stay, the rations, the barley, sets you about 5 silver.
Okay.
Not too much. Because at a certain point of the game, and especially around kind of level 9, 10 and upwards, money becomes useless things. It's just sort of nonsense, because adventurers have loads of it. But for 5 gold, I will give you a boon.
Sure, yeah.
Nice. You get advantage on your next thing that you're going to be rolling with those things.
Cool. I'd also give 5 extra golds just to... because I'm guessing still have some money left. I give 5 gold to invest in the possible, the wheel kind of invention.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see the game we're playing, Paul. We're playing
Yeah.
economics D&D. All right.
Well,
5 gold invest in wheel.
yeah.
And he's not even dealing with the person who invented it. He's just like, here's a fiver, now I'm invested. She's out of town.
Carl has never come across the idea of investing, so it makes sense to him. He'd be like, when you sell 5 gold's worth of these things, you owe 5 gold to that gentleman who gave it to us.
Yeah, I write my name and stuff like that on, like, some details about what's it for and stuff like that, and not like Randir's not kind of like a swindler or con man or like a hard like seller. He's just like interested in kind of helping, especially with his money, help to spread invention. So
nice. And some might say year on year you might see some rollover. Hey. Nice. Let's cut forward in time a little bit to your stay past the Dead Pony Club and to your visit to McKellar, and you come across a small inventor's shop, and this is run by, as you enter, and you see now your trip to from the Dead Pony Club to McKellar took a bit more time than you expected. You actually got set back a little bit. There was some sort of lingering banshee energy along the coastal road, and you did come across some rather sassy and aggressive bullywugs. Now, you did put them in their place, but they definitely had multiple chips in their shoulder from this group of adventurers who seem to be almost always in their shadow. And you picked it up. It's almost like you've been behind the scenes this entire time. You pick up a little bit of information about them as you travel from the various people that you kind of fight, encounter with, combat, destroy, emotionally ruin, all that kind of stuff. You eventually make your way to McKellar about a week and a half after leaving the Dead Pony Club, which is twice the time it should have taken you. So a little bit ragged, a little bit weary, you find yourself in this town. And it is on the cusp of celebration. You get the feeling like a bunch of villagers just recently returned from a traumatic event, but you don't know what that was or how it was, but there seems to be general revelry and celebration and good vibes in the small village town. So much so that you're like, I'm pretty sure I could sell some wares here. And as that thought crosses your mind and you walk into the village of McKellar, I think we should take a little break because we haven't yet. And that's my fault. I was having too much fun. But let's take a little 15-minute break. We'll be back in 15 minutes. I don't have anything else to say. So, and I'm to be honest, and Paul's on the screen now, so I can tidy this up. I'm just gonna try to make this tighter. Just gonna be like, let's break, and then we bazam out of there.
all right.
Sometimes it's like ending. We'll be back.
Yeah, we'll be back in 15 minutes.
See you later, guys.
Hey, and welcome back to Homebrew for episode 40. 40 episodes. Well, actually, it's more than 40 episodes because there's loads of we did Homebrew Isolation when lockdown first started. We did some one-shots. There's plenty. We've been doing this for almost 2 years. That's right. Our 2-year anniversary is almost coming up in about 2 weeks' time. So we're very much looking forward to it. It might just be a regular stream. It might be the stream of your fucking life. Strap in. We'll do something. At the very least, we'll do a big old Discord push and hopefully get everyone in there for beer talk, for D&D talk, for homebrew talk. Anything that I describe badly on the stream, I share visual references for in the Discord. So that's where you can join us. Quick announcement before we jump into the show proper. If you're enjoying the show, if you're finding it entertaining and you think, hey, those fellas need a little bit of support, then you can donate to our coffee account. It's coffee.com/homebrewquest, I believe. But here's the twist. It doesn't go to us. We take all that money and we give it to a charity, an organisation that we truly believe in. That's Maasai Ireland, the movement of asylum seekers in Ireland, who are trying to put an end to a terrible system called direct provision, which should be a stopgap and like a stepping stone into Irish community for asylum seekers. It isn't. It's run for profit. It's the worst. It's gross. And we're trying to end it. So if you want to help us give money to the real heroes, donate to our coffee and we'll pass that on. When we basically fill the bucket, we send it in a lump sum to them and they do incredible work. That's it from announcement, Ben. Now to DM, Ben, as we jump back into the stream.
I'm going to do tech poll. Keelan, sort out your focus. You're really trying to sort that out, man.
Look, sure.
Put your hand up against the camera, man.
But it's decided to autofocus. And
I really wanted to do that, but I didn't want it to look like I was saying, making some political statement.
There you go. Thank you so much. That's why we have tech on stream. I was trying to do it.
Really is handy.
Yeah. I was trying to do it, not secretly. I mean, maybe everyone was just like, why is he just wants to be really close to the guys.
Yeah.
We're playing D&D.
Just add to the coffee thing as well. You'll see kind of a little the little coffee kind of .com. When you donate, it'll flash up on screen on here as well, so people can thank you, and we'll thank you as well for doing this.
Yeah, we will see it. We will live say, we will call you out, we will hype you out, we will shout you out for being an awesome person and doing that. Right, let's jump into it because we're running this is going to be a little bit longer. We haven't even done all your backstory. This might have to be a two-parter, Paul. I say that as if we haven't already planned that. It's going to be a two-parter, guys. Strap in. So we are in the seaside village of McKellar. A sort of no-event town. No famous people have passed through here. There's no statues to great adventuring parties constructed yet. They're still strapped in the Feywild. But you are arriving in as Hux Punks yet to be named have saved the day, but have not made their way back from the Feywild. And you see this village celebrating. You hear one person in the distance go, "The Cores are back together. There's Jim and Sharon and Andrea and the other one." As the Cores family are reunited with their darling kids. You gather, without making any sort of checks, that it seemed like people were going missing, disappearing into the Feywild. And now they seem to be mysteriously returned. And all of them are saying the same account. There was these two halflings, this one half-elf, and this one sort of hairy, lanky monster man. Not sure if it was on their side or not. He was polite, but he wasn't pleasant to be around. Who rescued them from some sort of vicious night hag and sent them back to the town. And with spirits high, but drinks unfilled, the town, the village is yours. What would you like to do, Randir?
I guess he'd probably take because he's been traveling for a while, he'll probably take in the revelry, probably get some food and stuff like that, and kind of also pass around the barley that he picked up from the Dead Horses Club. He because he's an alchemist and a brewer kind of thing, with magic, the brew in which he's made from it, which is now in keggies, he'll be passing it around as well. So kind of thing. Just as a kind of, hey, let's party kind of thing. He's happy to be in civilization kind of thing. So, yeah.
Everyone except for the Vintners Association thanks you for free booze on the streets. No, even the bars are happy because they're kind of they're glad to have customers back. They're kind of treating it as it's a free-for-all. It's a purge night, but instead of hurting people, we're getting them drunk. It's a homebrew purge, where all drinks and all food and all sort of accommodations are free as the village starts to rehome people. And as the night passes by, you hear talk of, we should really commemorate those heroes. They were pretty fucking swell guys. I think one of them was pretty hot. And you get the feeling that this town are somewhat enamored. That the mayor of the town, sloshed, ready-nosed, puts a hand around you and goes, I don't even remember you living here. Welcome back, buddy.
I didn't. I kind of just came in from like, I'm traveling here. What's going on?
Well, here's the thing. All of us were having nightmares. Some of us were disappearing in our sleep. And especially the kids. And when you come after our kids, I'll tell you, we do something about it. And the something we do is we send unaffiliated people after you, and they get you back. And they don't come back. Which we're not going to dwell on tonight, because it's a time for celebration. So we're going to build a statue in their name. We're going to find their name. We're going to do something with their name. They need a name. Maybe we'll call them McKellar's Mates. Working title, McKellar's Mates is what we'll call them.
If I'm in the card.
All of the audience boo.
Everyone in the town.
My guy in the crowd was going to just repeat the first thing he said and try and make it a chant. So that's even funnier if I'm going, McKellar's Mates, but everyone else is doing.
He's like the one guy.
Even though none of them met Huck.
He's like the one guy who claps at the slow clap in a movie, but is completely wrong. Like, everyone's just like, what are you doing? It's not the time.
I'm always trying to start waves. I never can.
I love how we went the opposite directions. Except for you were picking one person, I said everyone. That's the real thing.
That's
just
the
get
power
everyone.
you have as the geek ensemble.
The geek chorus, specifically.
I guess.
Yeah, true.
These people sound like stunning. I've heard a little bit about their adventuring party on the road, like up here. Like, can you tell me anything more about them?
Well, I'll tell you this. I didn't sound like this a couple of drinks ago. I probably had a way different accent. But you get a couple of jars in me, and this is how I sound. Because my name's Oscar Monk, and I'm the mayor of this town. Vote Oscar. No one ever runs against me. We don't even take a vote. I'm hereditarily the mayor. That's how that works.
So you're appointed by God.
You're some kind of king, then, I guess.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but if it catches on, I'm not going to say king of a small fishing village. That's some title, huh?
Everyone starts chanting, King, King, King.
And I actually go, king of a small fishing... sorry, king. Yeah, king.
Yeah,
use the concise one. Well, between you and me, I didn't think adventuring was still a thing anymore. On account of that black hound everyone's talking about. But these guys, it's like it doesn't even faze them. It's like for some fate-driven, destiny-driven reason, it's not a problem for them. They just swan in here. They're not swans. The 4 swans, that's a completely different thing. They're not 4 swans. They're 4 people. They're 4 normal people. They're not kid swans trapped to eternity of being swans. They were a different family. That was a different thing. That was a different time.
Did that happen here? Did you do that? Is that what it sounds like you did that.
I did not, but they were here for centuries in our bay.
He's
toiling on the seas were a nightmare. We had calm seas, and as soon as they landed in, it was like someone had set up a cursed torture land for them. Oh, those children. Those poor swan children. But that wasn't them. We might build a statue to them. That'd be nice. That'd be a nice tourist.
I'm surprised you don't have a...
Everyone boos the statue to the swan people.
I've already begun making a statue and building it.
With napkins that just fold.
Who is that guy? He seems really excited about everything. And this crowd seems to be really not excited about everything.
I'll tell you what
We're
he
all
is. He's a
listening specific to your conversation.
He's a renegade.
He's a renegade. And renegades are always wrong in this world. So
We only play things by the book here at Homebrew. We definitely don't at all ignore all the books and all the rules. We play things by the book. That's our town renegade. You always need one. Whatever the crowd does, they do the opposite.
I see.
not on purpose. I don't know what you're talking about. And
I guess. Yeah, Randy, we're probably like I heard you have a really like an artificer or blacksmith like in town as well. He's kind of known among artificers as well. Like I guess would I be able to go? Do you know where he is? Can I go talk to him? I'm really excited, as you probably have not noticed.
Not only do we have an inventor, we have the greatest of all time inventor. That's no reflection of their talent. That's their name, G-O-A-T. The goat man you can find down in the blacksmith quarter. I say quarter, it's just he's beside the blacksmith. Oh, he's there. And you see sort of bouncing as if on some sort of whippersnapper device over the crowd towards the bar. This kobold who's just doing kind of somersaults over people going, well, don't mind me. Just ordering a drink. I lent out too many equipments and I hope those people come back.
this is an episode 8 callback. If you want to just hop back, I'm just going to give you that.
Yeah, we do flashback episodes differently here.
I think I'd want to know how to jump back. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, you see this kobold flipping through the air, and just before the bar, they land and kind of crowd surf towards this woman who's tending bar.
Yeah, I guess Randy would start going starting to approach this person, this kobold, and kind of be just like, I've heard a lot about I've heard about a lot of you and your work here, but no one kind of knows full well what some of the stuff that you've invented. I would love to see if you could give me a class on stuff, or see some of my designs.
After my tricks and wares and concoctions, are you? Well, I won't tell until tomorrow morning.
Okay. I was hoping Ben wouldn't realize that artificers try to steal each other's work, but
he's a wily fellow, but he's more than welcome. He goes, look, I'm not gonna spill the beans, which is one of my inventions, by the way. Tonight, I'm gonna spill the beans when I show you the beans that I'm spilling tomorrow in my inventory shack. Because let me tell you, friend, and his eyes are like closed. I don't know if you've ever seen a kobold drunk. They don't drink that often, but they're cold-blooded animals. I'm pretty sure alcohol affects lizards differently. That makes sense in my brain. He's like proper close-eye going, I'll take you through my entire workshop tomorrow. I might even have a job for you. You seem to have the smell of an artificer about you.
Was it because I said that I was an artificer? Is that how you know?
We'll never know.
Okay.
We'll never know.
I guess I'll try. I'll probably take some drinks as well. Probably, drink a little bit, taste the beers and stuff like that. See which ones I kind of like. Probably talk about where they come from and stuff like that to the bartender and anyone who kind of will listen while I get more and more drunk.
Yeah, interesting enough, you go up to the bartender. It's a woman called Peach Melba, is the name of this bartender. And you notice a very interesting contraption around her neck. She's wearing a necklace, and as she signs to you, what's the crack? You see in illusionary subtitles underneath, what's the crack? And everything she signs and everything she does is she says hello and thank you and please, or sorry, I'm sorry, and please, is subtitled. So that you find that, and she goes, oh, yeah, as she says to you, this is one of Goat's inventions. It helps me continue using sign while also being able to communicate with my customers.
Okay, yeah, Randy would be absolutely astonished by this device, that it's able to read essentially sign language and then produce illusion. Does it work on anybody, or is it specifically attuned to you? Or does it like?
She thinks for a moment and goes, yes and yes. Yes, I think this device can work on anybody, but yes, this specific one is attuned to me, and I am gutted because I learned the sign for Jaeger bomb, but we are 2 hours into the stream and I'm 2 hours into drinking, and I've forgotten the sign for Jaeger bomb on a really good Irish Sign Language app that I downloaded way back when in episode 8, and I've been learning sign language since. It is.
And you've learned every other word in the English language up to Jägermeister?
Yeah.
No. I'm not that good. I've learned basic phrases, general stuff. Because the reason I wear these as well is that doctors say I might go deaf someday. So I want to learn sign because of my inner ear imbalance. So that's something I am doing for myself, but introducing into this game.
And so
but I did learn.
You're like,
what's the crack? It stuck with me because what's the crack, and crack being like a laughing mouth. What's the crack? What's the crack?
What's the crack? Cool.
Nice.
And sometimes, and this happens to me a lot when I'm learning something, I get so enamored with one thing that I don't move on. I'm like, that's deadly. Let's just practice that all the time. But Jaegerbomb was on this app. Because it's an Irish Sign Language app, and of course Jaegerbomb was on it. Next stream, promise you next stream, I'll come back and show you.
Dog and stuff was on too, I guess.
Yeah. Suck it, podcast listeners. You don't get this visual delight.
Corner, shit.
So, the night passes, you learn a little bit more about this group of adventurers. They seem mysterious, oddly, like they didn't want to tell anyone about anything about their backstories. It's like they kept that all to themselves for some reason and purely focused on the task at hand, which is good for them. They did steal a young girl's pack of cards, though. That seems to be a rumor that spread through this town viciously.
Okay.
But they promised to give it back. They promised they would not leave this town, but I'd give them that pack of cards back.
Have the townspeople and the children returned at this point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're dealing with the period of time in which they went through the portal, but then 2 months passed and you guys are
before we did. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I remember it took us 2 months to get back.
I wasn't sure if they were also the 2 months, but no, that wouldn't make sense. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think.
Guys, are you immune to poison, Randir? What's your hangover situation?
I'm resistant to it, so I get advantage. I get advantage on saves against poison.
Yeah, make a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Thank God. Nope. My Constitution is really good. 12 altogether. I rolled a 5 and a 4.
Wow.
Yep.
This might be the first time in a long time you've woken up with even just the lingering of a hangover. You don't have a hangover by any means, but you do have that sort of you can hear your heartbeat.
The fear.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No, you don't even have the fear. The fear is failing on a hangover. That's
Nah. You always have the fear. It's just how quickly you
get
lose
over it. Yeah.
Yeah. He starts off with the fear, but he loses it in 10. He's like, no, I didn't do anything. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the first moment of waking up in any period of time is, have I? No, I haven't. Okay, and then I'll hunt you another day, my friend. As the Dementor sucks itself out of the room, almost like the wizard from Big Mouth. But yeah, you wake up, you shake off any elements of the fear you have, and you go, I have a date with Goat.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, Randir would probably start just, because if he's staying in a B&B or anything, or at a tavern or something, he'd probably get breakfast and kind of talk about any kind of, he'd still be fascinated about the translation device, kind of thing. It's his big kind of trigger is seeing any kind of device and just being like, I have to learn everything I can about it. So
where were you in episode 8, Paul? I had so many devices.
I know. This is going to be fantastic when they're all gone.
Hated devices. Let me tell you, these guys wouldn't give it a second look.
Yeah. It was the fact that we hated devices, and not that the devices were stupid.
We didn't have all our weddings at that point. They were really expensive, right?
Yeah. It was back when we had not loads and loads of cash.
Yeah. Plus, he brands things like "come pals." Yeah, it's hard to sell.
And as you walk into Goat's inventory shop and you hear the whistles and cracks and explosions of a classic inventor's workshop, you hear him going, oh, "Don't mind me, just working on the compals. They're compasses to find your pals."
So, if you really want to sell those, there'd probably be a better name for them. But that's from one adventure to the other. You choose what you want.
Well, I've always called them the compals, and I've never sold them.
Wow. Wait, hang on, what? You've never...
Are you saying that that's the reason I haven't sold some of these things I have here? Let me find a list of things.
I'm looking forward to this because I've forgotten everything except for compals.
You're saying the reason I haven't sold my brooch of delicately broaching delicately is because of its name?
I see that you suffer from the acute condition that artificers are just naming it literally what it does.
And he pulls together a bundle of rags, and before your very eyes, it turns into what you believe is a baby. And he says, "You're saying my rags, Mataz, is the reason I haven't sold these?"
Ragmataz is actually...
That's, yeah, I gotta say, I guess...
From baby to old woman, and he wraps the rags around, and he's convincingly an old woman. It's like, whatever these rags do, they can perform miracles.
Yeah, I guess...
From rags to riches, you say?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Is that some kind of, like, I guess, disguise device? Like, is it what's... So you could disguise that you have a baby, or you just are an old woman?
I'm glad you've asked. This seemingly mundane pile of rags can be fashioned into a very convincing bundle prop. Maybe a baby? But it could also be a heavy bindle. And he puts it on a stick, and it's like, that bindle is full of goods. You're like, it's very convincing that bindle's full of goods.
Interesting. How much?
Well, I've never sold it before, so I've never priced it before.
We can haggle.
Let me get my haggle devices. He puts together...
Just a knife to thread.
It's a big sword.
Yeah.
He pulls out 4 small miniatures from each other. They're like a Russian doll of hags. And he goes, "Ding, ding, ding," and he pulls out his haggle devices, and he goes, "Under one of these hags, I will place a good price. Under one of these hags, I will place a bad price. And under 2 of these hags, I will place the retail price." And he spins them in front of you really fast. He goes, "This is how you haggle, my friend. Pick one. Make a perception check."
Okay. Good old purple dice. Perception. Let's see, where's perception?
Is the good price good for him or bad for him?
14. 14 altogether.
Didn't ask. And he goes, "A little artificer's secret," and he pulls back all 4, and the balls underneath have all changed to bad price. He goes, "You can change what's under the hags if you know what you're doing. But I'll sell you for the recommended retail price. It's 7 gold. 7 gold for the rags."
Yeah, I guess, yeah, he'll buy 1 rag. Like,
Yeah, nice. Mark down 7 gold. You got rags, Mataz, my friend.
cool. I'm going to put that into my equipment. Ragamataz, that's interesting. I got myself.
Would you like
10.
the bracelets of fast thinking?
No, I think I'm okay. What's this? No, I think I'm okay. I think
fast. And he's wearing them, and he throws it at you. And you can use a reaction to catch the pile of gold that he's fired at you. It doesn't even it's him wearing it has immediately slowed down time for you.
Oh.
I thought you were going to say he'd think fast. The amulets hit you in the face. And they wouldn't have hit you in the face had you been wearing them. You'd have been able to think fast.
Yeah,
that's much better.
The item that means that anything that's ever thrown at you, you'll catch it.
Yeah, but I like the idea that the person who wears them gets to say the activating words "think fast."
Think fast and throw them.
Yeah, and then be able to catch them. So
I just assumed it was like a kind of a cruel 52 card pickup. Like, hey, do you want to play Think Fast? And you're just gonna throw whatever it was at you.
Well, interesting enough, it is like that, except for activating the words "think fast." It slows down time, and like some magical ability, you just go like "ding, ding, 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 ding," catch all these coins and go. Uh-huh.
It's a nice version of that game. Nice.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't think I'd buy one, but I think I'd be very kind of like, how the hell does he like change time? Like, so I'd probably try to figure it out. Like, I'd probably try to figure it out if there's any kind of spells or anything like that.
That one seems so much more useful than the heavy bindle. And catch whatever medieval bullet.
As an alchemist who might be tossing you health potions in the future, I agree. But
I feel, I feel, yeah. See, this is the thing is, yeah. I guess how much would one of those be? But
1,000 gold.
Yeah. See, yeah.
I'm just being a backseat driver here.
I'm gonna use.
Yeah, it is more useful than anything he ever showed us, for instance.
It's like a Matrix. Do you want to be in the Matrix?
I'm gonna use.
It's a bullet time bracelet. Do you want that? Yeah.
I'm gonna use sleight of hand while I'm thinking fast to also remove one from, like, I don't know, wherever Goat keeps the things, I guess.
I'll give you a heads up before you make this roll and make the decision. He is wearing them.
Is there not another set?
No. He only makes one of everything except for the compals. He thought you need 4 of those.
he thought he would have more friends. That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I guess I would try to do that. Yeah, as an artificial.
Yeah, absolutely. Make a sleight of hand check.
Oh, I am thanking God for purple. I got a 16 altogether.
He made a perception check. And sometimes DMs fudge rolls. Sometimes they get a natural one. He got a natty 1 on his ability to... he did it. And as you catch all these things, in that reaction time, because he's literally throwing both his hands at you, the magic of the bracers just stick onto your hands. Like some amazing magic trick. He goes, wow, that was some fast thinking. Can I have them back? I mean, I know you have them, but you're still in my store and guards exist.
With the bundle that's crying.
Let's, I'll get my haggle device. And essentially just gets the haggle dolls back and also puts just random notes under it and goes, if you get the right one, I'll give you them back.
Nice plan.
Oh. I can't resist a game. It's my one flaw. It's literally my one written down flaw, that games and puns are irresistible to me.
What? He would have played games?
Like Jax.
I only find this out now? I could have stayed the whole time playing games. Could have been the whole...
I'll tell you what. You seem like a man after my own heart and brain. And I've turned into an old-timey prospector. Let me get back into the Michael D. Higgins voice I've been trying to... I asked you here not because I wanted to sell you anything, although you can keep those. Both the rags and the bracers. But I come to you with the proposition. I was listening last night, although I was quite drunk. It seems like you have a journey, my friend. You are trying to get somewhere ahead of time. And I am trying to sell all these things. Because I think you're right. I think I have a marketing problem. Despite calling myself the greatest of all time, it's not as convincing as I thought it would be. So I'm making my way to Sleeve Gem. It's a long and perilous journey. But if you are both my eyes and ears and sword and protection on the road, I will reward you well and tell you my secrets on the way.
Deal.
You don't want to haggle?
No, that sounds like a really good deal on my part. I'm over. But yeah. Oh, actually, hang on. No, one thing. One thing. Do you want to buy some beer?
No, I'll make a constitution check because he drank a lot last night. The moment you mention beer, he just vomits into a bucket. I don't know if you've seen a lizard vomit before. I haven't, but I presume it sounds like this.
Hasn't he heard of the greatest invention? It's hair of the dog. So this guy needs to... He should appreciate his mechanism.
I should have.
Now that I've cleared out my lunch, have you that beer, sir? I need some hair of the dog.
Oh, it's going to be awful. Yeah, I guess I pour him a small bit of dynamite.
You're going to poison him. He tries to be really nice, and you're going to give him your awful beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody gets that beer.
I'm just establishing.
Even though a couple of yesterday I brewed a really nice batch of beer and now I'm just like, yeah, Dying Light Ale.
Back to your roots.
Yeah. Yeah, but that sounds like a great deal. I'd love to travel with you and learn everything I can about some of the inventions you come up with and your ideas. I have some ideas of my own that I'd love to pass. How do you look at?
The student can tell me the ideas after you learn about my page turner.
That's a good one.
What's the page turner?
And he hands you a book and then hands you like a page protection thimble and goes, try reading with this.
Okay. Yeah, I put it on and start, I guess, reading a book.
Yeah, I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
Oh no. A wisdom saving throw. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got a 5 altogether.
Nice. With the page turner, you can turn minutes into hours with this enchanted tome. Any creature who opens this book must save on a wisdom saving throw DC 12 or be compelled to read cover to cover. And he goes, there's only one way to make sure you read the book cover to cover, and that's the page turner. And it will take you roll 3d4.
Oh no.
This is when we find out Randir's illiterate.
Yeah, he never stops reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he can never start.
Oh, it's so sad. So sad. He invents things, but he has his own written language based on.
Okay,
hieroglyphs.
five altogether.
5. Oh, that's really good on 3d4, actually. And do you have any positive intelligence modifiers?
Positive intelligence modifiers? Yeah, I have a +4.
Oh, wow. Nice. So it'll only take you an hour to read this book. But you are compelled to read it.
Cool.
And during this time, as you're compelled to read this really boring book called... This book is called Oh, Brother.
Oh.
It's a story of a really disappointing brother from the town of Kilcool, which we all know. So you read Oh, Brother. It's part of a series. It starts Oh, Brother, and then there's 1 brother, 2 brother. You realize the O is a 0, 3 brother, 4 brother. You're compelled to read it. And during this time, as you're sort of head down, the world moves in a time lapse around you. And you realize as you're reading, a small woman enters the store and goes, I'm coming too. I'm Citra from before. You remember, I'm coming too. I'm a herbologist. And you bundle yourself into this mechanical device. It's a Jargadal, which is like it's like an insectoid creature. So he's made like a wagon insectoid mechanical device. The husk of which can open out into stalls, so like a traveling merchant stall. And you all hop onto this mechanical inside device. You're just reading the entire time, and you scuttle out of town on it towards Sleeve Gem,
So I mean,
which is where we will. Yeah, well, no, you said you'd go on the adventure, so.
Yeah, but I never said where. That he's literally. This is pretty cool.
You made your way. Some say kidnapped, some say railroaded. Potato, potato. You ride out of McKellar towards the Nanny State Mountains, across onto the roads of the Clockwork Tangerine, which are beginning to connect with Inish Bay, and you make your way into the wilds, essentially, with yourself. You've got the greatest of all time, Goat. You've got Citra and Dwyer, the herbologist, who did not tell her husband she was going on a merry adventure, but that's okay. You guys didn't know. Months had passed. Horrendous things have happened to the Dwyer family, but she went off to sell her stuff. And we will pick up, and a couple of other people maybe just jumped on board, in case there's people next session that have actual places and places to be. So between Keelan and Lucy, pick who you want to be. You can be Goat or Citra or someone else, because we'll pick up in 2 weeks' time on Randir's adventure towards Sleeve Gem on the traveling merchant's Jargadal insect machine mechanical contraption. As you all scuttle away. It's like an ant, but like with ant bodies, and the ant bodies can fold out and do the thing. Again, I'll share a visual representation in the Discord group.
This is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that was feat 1 of my notes, but I had so much fun this session that I was like, Let it happen. Let it be its thing. So we'll pick up in 2 weeks' time, just before the middle of April. There might be some disruption to the stream as I move house at some point. I don't think there will be, but just fair warning to the audience, there might be. But in 2 weeks' time, we'll pick up part 2 of Randir's backstory as he makes his way towards Sleeve Gem. Guess who's there? It's Hux Punks, baby. It's like it was orchestrated. We'll be back. Until then, be kind to each other. Be sound. Good night and joy be to you all.
Bye.
First episode, Paul.
Thank you.
Woo, 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 woo.